I should not be on here looking like this. I can never come on here looking like this. Anyway, so yes, we're gonna read the Bible today. We're going to read the Bible today, the Bible today, the Bible today. We read in Proverbs. Proverbs is too good. It's too good. So normally I read the Bible at 5, but I have not been to church in a while. I have not been to church in a while. So in the church that I be going to, sometimes like I haven't been there in like months. The church that I be going to, they start at 5. So I'm gonna read this right now. I don't know if I'm going to their church or not today, but just in case I do go, I just wanted to make sure I finish about reading today. So that's why we're here. I think we got 16 through 24 today. We do. So we have Proverbs 16 through 24. So I'm gonna read that, and then if I get back on here later and don't go to church, I'll be back on here later. And if not, this is the read for the day. So I'm gonna pray, and then I am going to start. So Lord, I just thank you for another day. I thank you that you are just kind and merciful. And God, this has just really been a walk. And I'm just grateful for people around me who tell me like sin is definitely not okay, but you are a gracious and a forgiving God, and we're always going to need you. So I pray that this word touches my heart and touches the hearts of those who are watching. And I pray that people can hear your word and that they feel you today on this wonderful Sunday. In your name I pray, amen. Okay. Proverbs 16. That's what we're reading right now. Proverbs 16. Make sure you share this with your friends, especially if they're not going to church. Make sure you share this so then they can, get the word today. All right. So this is titled An Obedient Heart. The preparations of the heart belong to men, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. The preparation of the heart belong to men, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Okay. All the ways of men are pure in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirit. Come on. Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. The Lord has made all for himself, yes, even the wicked for the day of doom. Everyone proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though they join forces, none go unpunished. In mercy and in truth, atonement is provided for iniquity. And by the fear of the Lord, one departs from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies at peace with him. Better is a little with the righteous than a vast revenues without justice. A man's heart plans his ways, but the Lord directs his steps. So we can have our own plan from our own heart, but the Lord will direct our steps. Divination is of the lips of the king. His mouth must not transgress in judgment. Honest ways and scales are the Lord's. All the weights of his bags are his works. It is an abomination for kings to commit wickedness, for a throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are a delight of the kings, and they love him who speak what is right. As messengers of death is the king's wrath, but a wise man will appease it. In the light of the king's face is life, and his favor is like the cloud of latter rain. How much better to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He who keeps his way preserves his soul. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil and be proud. He who heeds the word wisely will find good, and whoever trusts in the Lord happy is he. The wise in heart will be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increase learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life to him who has it, but the correction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth and adds learning to his lips. Here we go again with the mouth and the lips. Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the bones. But there is a way that seems right to man, but it ends in the way of death. The person who labors for himself, for his hungry mouth drives him on. An ungodly man digs up evil, and it is on his lips like burning fire. A perverse man sows strife, and a whisperer separates the best of friends. A whisperer separates the best of friends. Mouth, again, words. Words have power. Words have power to divide. A violent man entices his neighbor and leads him in a way that is not good. He winks his eye to devise perverse things, and he purses his lips to bring about evil. The silver-haired head is a crown of glory, if it is found in the way of righteousness. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty. He who rules his spirit then takes a city. The lie is cast into the lap, but every decision is from the Lord. Chapter 17, the actions of wisdom and foolishness. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. So it's better to not have no food with quietness than a house full of feasting, a whole bunch of food, a whole bunch of resources with a lot of strife. A wise servant will rule over a son who causes shame and will share an inheritance among the brothers. A refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the heart. The evildoer gives heed to false lips. A liar listens eagerly to a spiteful tongue. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who was glad at the calamity will not go unpunished. So do not be glad at calamity. Okay? Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their father. Excellent speech is not becoming to a fool, much lying lips to a prince. A present is a precious stone in the eyes of its possessor. Wherever he turns, he prospers. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates friends. He who covers a transgression seeks love. So to cover transgression, probably like forgiveness or something. But he who repeats a matter separates friends. Okay. Rebuke is more effective for a wise man than 100 blows on a fool. So listen, if they're not listening and if they're a fool, it's not effective. Rebuke is not effective. An evil man seeks only rebellion. Therefore, a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Let a man meet a bear robbed of her cub rather than a fool in his folly. So it's better than to come in contact with a upset bear than a fool doing foolish stuff. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is like releasing water. Therefore, stop connection before quarrel starts. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the just, both of them are like an abomination to the Lord. Why is there in the hand of a fool a purchase price of wisdom, since he has no heart for it? A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity, which means that your friend should be loving you all the time. And in adversity, that's when you know who your family is. A man devoid of understanding shakes hands in pledge and becomes a surety for his friends. He who loves transgressions loves strife. Ooh, my throat just got dry all of a sudden. Sorry. Where was I? Oh, and he who exalts his gate seeks destruction. He who has a deceitful heart finds no good, and he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. Here we go with the tongue again. He who begets a scoffer does so to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. A wicked man accepts a bribe behind the back to pervert the ways of justice. Wisdom in the sight of him who has understanding, but the eyes of the fool are on the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her who bore him. Also, to punish the righteous is not good, nor to strike princes for their uprightness. He who has knowledge spares his words, and the man of understanding is of a calm spirit. Even a fool is counted wise when he holds his peace. When he shuts his lips, he's considered perceptive. Chapter 18, foolish is shown by words. Okay, foolishness is shown by words. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise wisdom. Okay, let's say that again. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. Ooh, this is talking to me. He wages against all wise judgment. What am I going to do? Meditate and see why you want to be isolated. Isolation is not always good. Fool has no delight in understanding, but in expressing his own heart. When the wicked comes, contempt comes also, and the dishonor comes with reproach. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The wellspring of wisdom is a flowing brook. It is not good to show partiality to the wicked or to overthrow the righteous in judgment. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for blows. A fool's mouth is his destruction. His lips are the snare of his soul. The words of a talebearer are like tasty trifles, for they go down into the inmost body. He who is slothful in his own work is a brother to him who is a great destroyer. He who is slothful in his own work is a brother to him who is a great destroyer. The name, so in the same family is slothfulness and destroying, a great destroyer. Okay. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, like a high wall in his own esteem. Before destruction is the heart of a before destruction of heart is a man haughty, and before honor is humility. He who answers a matter before he hears it is a folly and shame to him. Get the full story. The spirit of a man who sustained in sickness, but who can bear a broken spirit. The heart of a prudent acquires knowledge, and the ears of the wise seek knowledge. I'm tripping today. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. The first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him. Casting lots causes contention to cease and keeps the mighty apart. A brother offended is harder to win than a strong city, and contentions are like bars of a castle. A man's stomach shall be satisfied from the fruits of his mouth, and from the produce of his lips he shall be filled. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The poor man uses entreaties, but the rich man answers roughly. A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Chapter 19. Wickedness will have its results. Better is a poor who walk in his iniquity than one who perverts his lips and is a fool. Also, it is not good for a soul to be without knowledge, and he sins who hastens with his feet. The foolishness of a man twists his way, and the heart frets against the Lord. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. A false witness will not go unpunished, for he who speaks lies will not escape. Many entreat the favor of nobility, and every man is a friend to one who gives gifts. All the brothers of the poor hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He may pursue them with words, yet they abandon him. He who gets wisdom loves his own soul. He who gets understanding will find good. A false witness will not go unpunished, for he who speaks lies shall perish. Luxury is not fitting for a fool, much less a servant to rule over princes. The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory to overlook a transgression. A king's wrath is like a roaring of a lion, but his favor is like the dew of the grass. A foolish son is the ruin of his father, and the contentions of a wise are continually drooping. Houses and riches are inheritance from the fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. Laziness casts one into deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. He who keeps a commandment keeps his soul, but he who is careless of his ways will die. He who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay back what he has given. Chasten your son while there is hope, and do not set your heart on his destruction. So that goes back to that discipline. A man of great wrath will suffer punishment, for if you rescue him, you will have to do it again. Listen to counsel and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter days. There are many plans in a man's heart, nevertheless, the Lord's counsel that will stand. What is desired in a man is kindness, and a poor man is better than a lion. The fear of the Lord leads to life. The fear of the Lord leads to life, and he who has it will abide in satisfaction. He will not be visited with evil. A lazy man buries his hand in a bowl and will not so much as to bring it to his mouth again. Proverbs do go hard. Do you hear me? As you should. Thank you. Sorry, I know I just got that lit, but it do go hard. Strike a scoffer, and the simple will become wary. Rebuke one who has understanding, and he will discern knowledge. He who mistreats his father and chases away his mother is a son who causes shames and brings reproach. Cease listening to instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. A disreputable witness scorns justice, and the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. Judgments are prepared for scoffers, and beating for the backs of fools. Chapter 20, Integrity and Corruption Contrasted. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. This is deep because I'm honestly thinking about not drinking like for the rest of my life. So I'm just going to make a little box around that. Okay. The wrath of a king is like a roaring lion. Whoever provokes him to anger sins against his own life. It is honorable for a man to stop striving, since a fool can start a quarrel. A lazy man will not plow because of winter. He will beg during the harvest and have nothing. Counsel in the heart of a man is like a deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Most men will proclaim each his own goodness, but who can find a faithful man? The righteous man walks in his integrity, and his children are blessed after him. Good morning. Which message? Hey girl, I love you. I love you so much. Text me what message you talking about. We can talk about it later. But I love you so much, boo. What was I saying? The watchman, a man who sits on the throne of judgment, not drinking, my baby. Why? Do you hear me? Girl, and I will definitely send you this. Hold on, let me take a note real quick. I'm about to send the scripture. Because, girl, why did I put a box around it? I'm literally about to pray about it after this. Like, Lord, give me some more confirmation. Anyway, okay, that's what I was saying. Who can say I've made my heart clean? I am pure from my sin. Diverse weights and diverse measures, they are both alike an abomination to the Lord. When they talk about diverse weights and measures, it's talking about like scales, how you weigh things. So if you pay for something and you pay for a pound of it, you should get a pound of it. But if people like throw off the scales of it, so then they give you less for the same amount, that's what he means by abomination, because people used to do stuff like that. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether he is done pure and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord has made both. Do not love sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes, and you will be satisfied with bread. It is good for nothing, cries a buyer. When he has gone his way, then he boasts. There is good and multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. That means it's very valuable, the lips of knowledge. Take the garment of one who is surety for a stranger, and hold it as a pledge when it is for a seductress. Bread gained by deceit is sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth will be filled with gravel. That goes back to making sure that we get the like money and resources in a good way, not like being deceitful. Plans are established by counsel, by wise counsel wage war. He who goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets, therefore do not associate with one who flatters with his lips. Whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp will be put out in deep darkness. Lord, please help me to not curse my mother or my father. An inheritance gained hastily at the beginning will not be blessed at the end. Do not say, I will recompense evil. Wait for the Lord, and he will save you. Diverse weights are an abomination to the Lord, and dishonest scales are not good. A man's steps are of the Lord. How can a man understand his own way? It is a snare for a man to devote rashly something as holy, and afterward to reconsider his own vows. A wise king sifts out the wicked and brings the threshing wheel over them. The spirit of a man is a lamp of the Lord, searching all the inner depths of his heart. Mercy and truth preserve the king, and by loving kindness he upholds his throne. The glory of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray head. Blows that hurt cleanse away evil, as do the stripes of the inner depths of the heart. Blows that hurt. Sometimes you gotta, when we be thinking that we really doing something, and people come who are wise, of course, wise counsel come, and they like talk to us. Sometimes the stuff be hurting, but it cleanses away that evil. Do you hear me? Chapter 21, ethical and unethical actions. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, like the rivers of water. He turns it wherever he wishes. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the heart. To do righteousness and justice is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Okay? A haughty look, a proud heart, and plowing of the wicked are sin. The plans of the diligent lead to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. Getting treasures by a lying tongue is fleeting fancy of those who seek death. The violence of the wicked will destroy them because they refuse to do justice. The way of a guilty man is perverse. As for the pure, his work is right. Better to dwell in a corner of a house step than a house shared with a contentious woman. The soul of the wicked desires evil, his neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. When the scoffer is punished, the simple is made wise, but when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. The righteous God, the righteous God wisely considers the house of the wicked, overthrowing the wicked for their wickedness. Whoever shuts his ear to the cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be heard. A gift in secret pacifies anger, and a bribe behind the back a strong wrath. It is a joy to do just. Sorry, it is a joy for the just to do justice, but destruction will come to the workers of iniquity. A man who wanders from the way of understanding will rest in the assembly of the dead. He who loves pleasure will be a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not be rich. The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the unfaithful for the upright. Better to dwell in the wilderness than a contentious and angry woman. There is a desirable treasure in oil in the dwelling place of the wise, but a foolish man squanders it. He who follows righteousness and mercy finds life, righteousness, and honor. A wise man scales the city of the mighty and brings down the trusted stronghold. Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from trouble. A proud and haughty man scoffer in his name and acts with arrogant pride. The desire of a lazy man kills him, for his hands refuse labor. He covets greedily all day long, but the righteous gives and do not spare. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with a wicked intent? Ooh, so what are we sacrificing when we give our offering? And what's our intentions? A false witness shall perish, but the man who hears him speaks endlessly. A wicked man hardens his face, but as for the upright, he establishes his ways. There's no wisdom or understanding of counsel against the Lord. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but deliverance is of the Lord. Chapter 22. Advice for moral living. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Loving favor than silver and gold. The rich and the poor have this in common. The Lord is a maker of them all. A prudent man foresees evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. Thorns and snares are in the way of the perverse. He who guards his soul be far from them. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. He who sows iniquity will reap sorrow, and the rod of his anger will fail. He who has a generous eye will be blessed, for he gives bread to the poor. Cast out the scoffer, and contention will leave. Yes, strife and reproach will cease. He who loves purity of heart and has grace of his lips, the king will be his friend. The eyes of the Lord preserve knowledge, but he overthrows the words of the faithless. The lazy man says, "There is a lion outside, I shall be slain in the streets." The mouth of a moral woman is a deep pit. He who is abhorred by the Lord will fall there. Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child. The rod of correction will drive it far from him. He who oppresses the poor will increase his riches, and he who gives to the rich will surely come to poverty. The words of the wise. Incline your ears and hear the words of the wise, and apply your heart to my knowledge, for it is a pleasant thing if you keep them within you. Let them all be fixed upon your lips, so that your trust may be in the Lord. I have instructed you today, even you, that I have not written to you excellent things of counsel and knowledge, that I make you certain of the words of truth, that you may answer the words of truth to those who send to you. Do not rob the poor because he is poor. Do not oppress the afflicted at the gates. For the Lord will plead their cause and plunder the souls of those who plunder them. Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man do not go, lest you learn your ways and set a snare for your soul. Do not be one of those who shakes the hand in a pledge, one of those who is surety for debts, if you have nothing which is to pay. Why should he take away your bed from under you? Do not remove the ancient landmark from which your fathers have set. Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before the kings. He will not stand before unknown men. Chapter 23. So we got chapter 23 and chapter 24, and then we're done. If you have prayer requests, stay for 2 more chapters, and then I will pray over you. Chapter 23. Advice to promote wisdom. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, consider carefully what is before you, and put a knife to your throat. If you are a good man given to appetite, do not desire his delicacies, for they are deceptive food. Do not overwork to be rich, because of your own understanding. Cease. Will you set your eyes on that which is not? For witches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away like an eagle towards heaven. So don't be so thirsty to be rich, is what they say. Do not eat the bread of a miser, which is one who has an evil eye, okay? Nor desire his delicacies, for he thinks in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. The morsel that you have eaten, you will vomit up and waste your pleasant words. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. Do not remove the ancient landmark, nor enter the fields of the fatherless, for their Redeemer is mighty. He will plead their case against you. Apply your heart to instruction and your ears to words of wisdom. Excuse me. Do not withhold correction from a child, for if you beat him with a rod, he will not die. You shall beat him with a rod and deliver his soul from hell. My son, if your heart is wise, my heart will rejoice. Indeed, I myself. Yes, my inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak the right things. Do not let your heart envy sinners. Do not be zealous for the fear of the Lord all the day, for surely there is hereafter, and your hope will not be cut off. Hear, my son, and be wise, and guard your heart in the ways. Do not mix with wine bibbers or gluttonous eaters of meat, for the drunkard and the glutton will come to poverty, and drowsiness will clothe a man with rags. Listen to your father who begot you, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy the truth, and do not sell it. Also, wisdom and instruction and understanding. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice, and he who begets a wise son will delight in him. Let your father and your mother be glad, and let her who bore you rejoice. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways. For a harlot is in a deep pit, and a seductress is a narrow well. She also lies in wait as for a victim, increased to unfaithful among men. A warning about alcohol abuse. Oh, I'm going to send this to her too. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaints? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who linger long at wine, those who go in search of mixed wine. Do not look on the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it swirls around smoothly. At the last, it bites like a serpent and it stings like a viper. Your eyes will see strange things, and your heart will utter perverse things. Yes, you will be like the one who lies down in the midst of the sea, or like the one who lies at the top of the mast, saying, They have struck me, but I was not hurt. They have beaten me, but I did not feel it. When shall I awake? When shall I awake that I may seek another drink? Because now the Lord's going crazy. So we got Proverbs chapter 20 and 1, and then we got what is this? Chapter 23 and 23, verses 29 to 35. Wow. Boom. All right, that's the last chapter, y'all. If you have prayer requests, put them in the chat. Chapter 24. Avoid evil and seek wisdom. Do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them, for their desire devises violence, and their lips talk of troublemaking. Through wisdom, a house is built, and by understanding, it is established. By knowledge, the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, yes, a man of knowledge increases strength. For by wise counsel, you wage your own war. And in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. Wisdom is too lofty for a fool. He does not open his mouth in the gate. He who plots to do evil will also be called a schemer. The devising of foolishness is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to men. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Deliver those who are drawn towards death, and hold back those stumbling in the slaughter. If you say, Surely we did not know about this, does he not who weighs the heart to consider it? He who keeps your soul, does he not know it? And will he not render to each man according to his deeds? My son, eat honey because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to your taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be to your soul. If you have found it, there is a prospect, and your hope will not be cut off. Do not lie in wait, O wicked men, against the dwelling of the righteous. Do not plunder his resting place, for a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fall by calamity. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls. Do not let your heart be glad when he stumbles, lest the Lord see it and displease him, and he turns away his wrath from him. So don't be happy when people who you consider your enemies fall. Okay? Do not fret because of the evildoer, nor be envious of the wicked, for there will be no prospect for the evil man. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. My son, fear the Lord and the king. Do not associate with those given to change, for their calamity will rise suddenly, and who knows the ruin that they can bring. More sayings of the wise. These things are also belong to the wise. It is not good to show partiality in judgment. He who says to the wicked, you are righteous, him the people will curse. Nations will abhor him, and those who rebuke the wicked have delight, and a good blessing will come upon them. He who gives the right answer kisses the lips. Prepare your outside work, make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterward build your house. Yes, I got you. I got like 6 more verses, and I'm going to pray for everybody. Okay. Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause. For would you deceive with your lips? Do not say, I will do to him as he has done to me. I will render the man according to his work. So that's basically saying we do not need to get revenge. Okay? Because we already read the Lord is our own revenge. I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man devoid of understanding. And there it was, all overgrown with thorns. Its surface was covered with nettles. Its stone wall was broken down. When I saw it, I considered it well. I looked on it and received instruction, a little sleep, a little slumber, and a little folding of the hands to rest. So your poverty shall come like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. They saying, do not be lazy, because when somebody goes by the field of a lazy man, we saw all the things that the surface was covered in nettles, and the stone wall was broken down, and it was overgrown, which means that they was not taking care of what they had because they were too busy being lazy. And that is today's reading. So I got your request. Poo. Okay, it's 3 people on here. Do y'all have anything before I start praying? If not, I'm gonna just pray and we're gonna get up out of here and enjoy the rest of our Sunday. Okay. I don't see nothing, so I'm gonna just pray for us. Okay. Dear Lord, we just thank you for another day. We thank you for another week, God. We thank you to make it to Sunday, Lord. Everybody did not have the opportunity to wake up this morning, and so we just thank you for that, God. Lord, I thank you for your word. I thank you for understanding. I thank you for this opportunity to gain understanding by reading your word. And Lord, I'm just praying for knowledge, God. Wisdom. I'm praying for knowledge, but and for wisdom, Lord. I pray that you just allow wisdom to just fill me, fill my mind, fill the minds of those who are watching on TikTok and YouTube, Lord. Lord, I just want to pray for my friend, Lexi, Lord. I just want to lift her up to you, Lord, that you give her the discipline and consistency, Lord. And Lord, I also pray that you show her what that even looks like, because consistency and discipline looks different on everybody, God. And so, Lord, I pray that you just put that into her spirit. And I pray that you also put that in the spirit of people around her that can help guide her, Father. Lord, I pray that you just allow her faith to be strengthened, Lord, and that you will really put in her heart to follow you, Lord. When Abraham followed you, he was righteous, not because of the words that he spoke, but because of the actions, Lord. When you told him to move, he moved. And so, Lord, I pray that over my friend Lexi, that when you told her to do something, that she has the ears to hear that it is you. Lord, I pray that you just direct her path, God. I pray that you bless her with mentors and wise counsel that can help her direct her path, and that can help her direct her path, but also can guide her, Father God. I'm praying for myself as one of her friends. I'm praying that if there's anything that she needs, that she feels comfortable, that she can come to me with. And Lord, I pray that you just give me the wisdom to even give to her, Lord. If there's something that you're trying to speak into her, Lord, I pray that you help me to hear it as well as the other people around her, Father. I pray for wise counsel on myself, God. I pray for wisdom for myself. I pray love and patience and mercy on myself, God. as 2024 comes, I'm thinking about giving up drinking. And Lord, I just need more confirmation over these next like month and a half. What you want me to do with that, Lord? I pray that you just give me the discipline to do so. I'm praying for lust to be purged out of my spirit, out of my mind, God. Um, I pray for all of my friends, all of my family, that you keep them safe. Pray for those who are on live and those who could not make it, that you keep them safe, Lord. And I just pray that I can be a light for your people, God, and that those who I have led astray, that they be brought back to you, and that they understand that I'm just a human being and I'm not you, and I just made a mistake. And so I just pray all these things in your name. Amen. I don't know if I'm gonna get back on here later today because the church I go to starts at 5. So if I do not get back on here, y'all have a good day. If I do get back on here, I don't know what time it'll be. So just, I don't know if TikTok does like notification, but if they do, you can do it on there. I also have the link in my bio for YouTube. You can put the notifications on there too. And I will just see y'all later. If I don't see y'all today, I'll see y'all tomorrow at 5. Y'all have a good day. Love.